Hello, and welcome to season one of the podcast Bernie's Dad Personal Reflections. I'm your host, Eric Landrum from Psych Sessions and Boise State University. This podcast lives at an unexpected but hopefully rich intersection. My 35 plus years as a psychology educator and my life with a new puppy named Bernie Sanders. Bernie is part Shih Tzu, part poodle, and, like many of the best teachers and students in psychology, mostly joy with a little bit of mischief mixed in. As I reflect on my career and get to know this energetic little guy, I've started to notice meaningful parallels between the two. Teaching, mentoring, learning, patience, growth. These themes show up whether you're in a classroom or on a walk with your puppy. Each episode of Bernie's Dad is short and reflective, built around a single idea. Episode titles are one word, often inspired by terms from the adjective checklist, and serve as a lens for exploring both professional life and personal experience. While this is primarily a solo podcast, I may invite guests from time to time when it feels right. My hope is that these episodes are small, satisfying nuggets, something you can savor, reflect on, and perhaps carry with you into your own work and life. I also suspect you'll recognize segments of your own career in many of the topics we explore together. My thanks to Psych Sessions for supporting this project. And now, on with the show. Hi, this is Eric, and this is episode 3 entitled Compassion. As I think about the intersection of my career, both as a psychology educator and my new career as uh, having a puppy in the house, I think compassion is a unifying theme, at least from my perspective. When I think about students over time, I think when you get out of grad school, many people believe that you've got to kind of prove yourself. You've got to, I don't know about hardened is the correct word, but you've got to be tough. You don't want people to walk all over you. And I think over time, at least, and I think I probably had that as well. In fact, I think some students told me that. However, I think over time, compassion leaked in, if you will. I think about course design choices. I got a chance to teach intro psych about a year ago after a 13-year hiatus, and I borrowed an idea from my buddy Regan Gurung at Oregon State University. I call it late grace, where I gave students a number of opportunities to just fill out a Google form and get 3 extra days to work on an assignment or work on a reflection or something. Again, especially for Psych 101 students, to give them more compassion. They got a lot going on. They're normally new students in their first or second year. And so that compassion, I think, is an important component. And that's something I did in the last 2 years, not in the first 20 years of my career. I think with a puppy, compassion is everything. I see this little guy, and honestly, I know this is cliche. I know, but every time I get home from work, I fall in love with this little guy again. And it's the compassion. It's wanting to take him for a walk. It's wanting to take him outside. It's wanting to do things for him. It's wanting as best as possible to make sure that he gets healthy food and he gets exercise and he gets enrichment and he gets sleep and he gets rest. He's a puppy. He needs a ton of sleep. And so, I think this goes hand in hand with episode 2 on patience. I mean, this patience plus compassion is a pretty good formula for both someone who's trying to raise a puppy and someone who's trying to be a good psychology educator. And so for me, I think that's the takeaway about compassion. Um, it doesn't diminish me, at least I believe, it doesn't diminish me to provide compassion to my students, to when they tell me that a parent or a grandparent has died who are sick, it's the compassion in me that says, "Go take care of that, and we'll figure it out when you get back. And you don't need to bring me a card from the funeral saying that your grandparent has died." Why inflict more trauma than that student's already experiencing? And I know what some of you are thinking. Sometimes students lie about these things. Sometimes students make it up. You know what? If they get away with that one with me, They do. I'm a big believer in karma as well. But the compassion to just meet students where they are and try to meet their needs as reasonable as possible. Sometimes that's large. That's a large task. I'm thinking about my capstone class this semester that I'm recording this. I have 131 souls in that class. And so providing compassion to each and every one of them is a challenge. That doesn't mean it's not doable, but it can be a challenge. Anyway, I see the overlap completely between compassion evolving in my career and the compassion I have for my little puppy, Bernie Sanders. And I hope you can appreciate that crossover too. Thanks. Inspired by teaching, guided by Bernie. Keep learning, keep growing, and take care. I'll see you next time.